Hey guys. Hey, thank you so much for hopping on this live tonight, folks. I am excited to get on. Um, I need to plug in my phone though, because it looks like, folks, give me a second. It looks like I needed to charge my phone, otherwise it could potentially die, and I don't want it to die. So awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for hopping on tonight. As you guys tune into this live, if you wouldn't mind, drop your location in the chat. Okay. I'm always curious where people are located around the world. And so I'm really excited to get on. Okay. I'm excited to get on because what I'm going to be talking about is something that that affects 93% of people, right? And so I want you guys to listen closely because for most people, this is the first time it has ever been explained clearly. Okay. I'm not sure why this is having me do this again, but all right. And so, replace. And so I'm really excited to get on. Okay. I live here in Phoenix, Arizona, and 93% of people have an issue called insulin resistance. So I want you guys to listen to this because most people don't even know that they have this. Most people do not have a weight problem. Most people don't have a discipline problem. Most people don't have a motivation problem, right? People are genuinely motivated. What people have is an insulin problem, and no one ever told them. So I hope and pray that what I share with you helps you to avoid the same mistakes that I've made. And so if you feel tired after meals, okay, you know, I love when people like this, come on. I definitely believe in Jesus for sure. So if you feel tired after meals, okay, if you crave snacks even when you just ate, let's do this. Let's block this person. Okay. So if you're gaining weight and you feel like you're doing all the right things, okay, I want you guys to understand that you're not alone. Okay. And so Solomon said in the Bible, in all of your gaining, gain understanding. And let me tell you, when you understand insulin resistance, it changes everything. Okay. And so if you are struggling with your health, this information could change your life. And if there's somebody that you know that you love and you care about that needs to hear this, feel free to share this live with them. Believe in Jesus. I freaking love that. That's what this is all about. Okay. And so I'm really excited to get on. Okay. Because what I'm going to share with you is something that affects most people. Okay. Let's do this. And so here's the deal. If you want to make a big impact in business or in life, you need to be able to solve a major problem. And right now, the biggest health issue in the world is insulin resistance. Okay. It affects 93% of people here in the United States. Some of you know my story, but November of 2014, so 11 years ago, well, almost 11 years ago, I donated a kidney to my sister's husband. I'm grateful for that. I was honored to be able to do that. But it was 7 years later when I was diagnosed with what is called stage 4 kidney disease. And what's interesting is that I was told that if I didn't lose weight, that I would end up on dialysis. That was my wake-up call. I had donated a kidney years before, so when they told me that my one kidney was failing, I was terrified. I was overweight. I was tired all the time. Ron Janine, how are you, my friend? I was exhausted all the time. And honestly, like many of you, I felt like my body was giving up. But instead of giving in, I decided to fight back. I learned about insulin resistance, which is the exact reason why I get on this live every day. I decided to learn about insulin resistance, which is the real reason so many of us gain weight and why so many of us get sick. And I've made some simple changes that have completely reset my metabolism. So I've lost 32 pounds. My migraines that I had for 23 years went away. My acid reflux, the brain fog, anxiety, depression, all of this went away. And after 5 months of doing something simple and easy, my stage 4 kidney disease has been reversed. If you have ever been told that there is no way out, don't believe it. I am living proof that your body can heal when you give it the right support. Now, what is insulin, right? I think it's important for us to understand what cortisol is, right, Paul? What insulin is. You may have heard of this, right? It is something that has often been glossed over. I'm hoping to just give you a little synopsis of what that is, right? Here are some of the signs that your body can have, and it might even be showing you right now that you have insulin resistance. And by the way, you could have insulin resistance between 10 and 20 years before you lose control of your blood sugar and they diagnose you with diabetes. Can you believe it that it takes 10 to 20 years for insulin resistance to lead to a diabetes diagnosis? And we are disrupting this metabolic space in this marketplace. Skin tags, belly fat, right? Belly fat is the #1 sign of insulin resistance, and I had plenty of that. Okay, folks, 93% of people have insulin resistance. That's how big of a problem this is. This is a global epidemic. The 93% of people I'm referring to is right here in the United States. Folks, you can walk outside and throw a pebble down the street, and you're going to know at least 10 people with insulin resistance, skin tags, inflammation, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, constant cravings, right? Folks, I was constantly thinking about my next meal. I crave salty, I crave sweet. I was getting headaches, I was getting migraines that I had for 23 years. All of these are signs of insulin resistance. Now, how did we get here? Really quick, how many on here have been told that in order for you to lose weight, that you should eat within 30 minutes of waking up? And that you should eat every hour to 2 hours, right? If you've ever been told to do that, would you mind putting the number 2 in the chat? What you need to understand is that every time you eat food, especially sugar and especially carbs, is that your body creates glucose known as blood sugar. Thank you, Miji, right? And once you pop, you can't stop. You guys realize that the food industry always tells us what they're doing to us, right? Ba-da-ba-ba-ba, right? All these commercials that we watch. Do you guys realize that just about every commercial that you watch on TV, what is it promoting? Medication, isn't it? What do? We eat all day long. And folks, when your body is making an excess amount of glucose, guess what? Your body is releasing insulin. Insulin is not your friend. Okay, insulin is a fast-storing hormone. I actually call it the love handle hormone because that's what it does. It causes your love handles to get bigger. And folks, if you are eating every 2 hours, your cells are going to stop listening to insulin. That is what's called resistance. And if you happen to be curious about what I'm using, right? The information is on my TikTok page, right? Watch the pinned videos in my TikTok page. Think about this, folks, and good morning, okay? Folks, I want you guys to understand something. Did you know that your gut has more nerve endings than your spinal cord? It's the heart of your immune system. But when you have a diet that is full of ultra-processed foods and seed oils and trans fats, it messes this up, doesn't it? You want to know what the result is? Harmful bacteria starts to grow. It triggers inflammation. It triggers autoimmune issues, even diseases like diabetes and Hashimoto's. Okay, how many of you know somebody with lupus or RA? Okay. Folks, there's 3 things that I teach people: fasting, fiber, and the third thing is making sure that you are having that you have the right tools. Chips and dip. Okay. I'm not sure what you are comparing the Feel Great system to. It is $5 a day. Folks, it is less than what we spend on coffee. It is less than what we spend on a meal. Folks, if you think getting healthy is expensive, just wait until you are sick. Folks, it is not expensive. Getting sick is expensive. Not taking care of your health is expensive. And here's why I teach fasting. Okay? Fasting is an absolute game changer. Okay? It's an absolute game changer. Because fasting helps to reboot your stem cells. It gives your gut a break. It reduces inflammation and autoimmune chaos. Okay? And Rusty the Clown, I'm not exactly sure why anybody would sit inside of a vehicle for that long. It's a little weird. I'm sorry. Folks, here's the truth. When you fast, your body repairs the tight junctions, so it eases things like IBS, Crohn's disease, rheumatoid arthritis, okay? Fasting is the quickest way that you can start to get your insulin under control. How many of us were taught to eat 3 meals a day and to snack 2 to 3 times throughout the day? That eating pattern, folks, is the reason why 93% of us are metabolically unfit, right? We're metabolically sick. Most of us are eating literally all day long. It's not about eating less, it's about eating less often. When you go long periods of time without food, right? When you give your body the ability to take a break and you're fasting, what you're doing is you're avoiding glucose spikes. And when you avoid glucose spikes, you are avoiding the insulin spikes. I'm not quite sure if some of the comments that people make on my live that are irrelevant to what I'm talking about. So fasting is a game changer, right? The second thing is the power of fiber. When you have soluble and insoluble fibers, okay, it feeds the good bacteria. It acts like a prebiotic. It regulates your blood sugar. It prevents fatty liver disease. It helps to crush the cravings. This is huge, folks. Quite honestly, I wish that I would have known about this 21 years ago. My dad would still be here. That's one of the reasons why I get on here every single day, because I wish that I knew this information then. My hope and my prayer is that what I share with you helps you to avoid making the same mistakes that I made. Folks, you might be struggling with your health. Some of you might be on a laundry list of medications. Some of you might wonder if you're ever going to get better. And if there's anything that you get from this live, I want you to understand that you have hope. You have options. You always have. Here's the science why we become insulin resistant. Because every time we eat, especially carbs and sugar, your blood sugar spikes. And when your blood sugar spikes, that triggers the release of insulin. Insulin is what helps the body absorb the sugar, okay? But over time, okay? Over time, if we're eating too much sugar or constantly snacking, what happens is that your body starts to resist insulin, and now it causes the cycle of insulin resistance. When insulin can't get sugar into the cells effectively, it gets stored in places that you don't want it to be, like your liver, okay? It gets stored in your joints. Hello, arthritis. It gets stored even in your brain. This is, Alzheimer's, dementia, brain fog, okay? It can lead to a lot of things. Too much sugar in the brain of a child leads to ADHD. Nanny, I have 2 to 3 every single day. I'm still sipping on one now. Okay? It's the raspberry pomegranate. They're going to come out with it, I think, in a couple weeks if they haven't already. But folks, this is basic biology. How many of you have kids, right? Have you ever asked your kids to do something a couple times and they stop listening to you? Right? That's kind of what happens to your cells, right? Your cells stop listening to insulin. Insulin is knocking, but nobody's answering. And so now you've got this excess glucose just sitting in your bloodstream, and it has to get stored somewhere. It has to get dumped. And where does it get dumped? Your liver, right? Your joints, your brain, your blood, right? And all of these warning signs start to happen. You start to get high cholesterol. You start to get high triglycerides. You get LDL, right? That's fatty liver disease, by the way. Ladies, you start to get PCOS, right? 26% of American women have PCOS. It is a leading cause of infertility for women, right? Men in their, are getting erectile dysfunction and low testosterone. And I'm not just talking about guys in their 60s. I'm talking about guys in their 20s. And your blood pressure goes up. Your joints start to hurt. Your migraines set in. You've got neuropathy. And before you know it, you're on 24 medications. And you blow out your pancreas, and now you have diabetes. Folks, if you don't already know this, when you get diabetes, your cardiovascular risk goes up by 80%, meaning that you are 80% more likely to have a heart attack, to have a stroke. You're 81% more likely to have Alzheimer's or dementia. Folks, I want you guys to understand, I don't care how long you've been dealing with health issues, you can actually improve it naturally. And if your doctor has ever told you that you cannot reverse type 2 diabetes, please don't believe it. Type 2 diabetes, first and foremost, is not a lifetime disease. It's not. You can fix it. It is reversible because insulin resistance is reversible. Now, here's the part that no one wants to tell you, okay? Folks, if I have IBS, if I have cholesterol issues, blood pressure issues, and let's say that I go to 3 different doctors. If I go to 3 different doctors, I'm going to pay 3 different copays, and I am walking out with at least 3 different medications, and not one of them even touches the real root cause of your health issues. All they're doing, folks, is managing the numbers. the symptoms. But the moment you stop taking those meds, what do you think happens? See, all of these symptoms come right back. What if instead of chasing the symptoms, you tackled the one thing that's causing them all? That would make the most sense, right? But the unfortunate thing is that is what is not happening in our healthcare. In fact, it's the complete opposite. Far too often, we are just throwing medications at the symptoms. So, folks, if we are just throwing medications at our symptoms, it's like having a leak in your ceiling and you're placing a bucket to catch the water, but you never fix the roof. We've got to address the environment inside of our body, not just the symptoms. And if all you're doing is treating the symptoms, you're not fixing the root cause. All they're doing, folks, is managing your symptoms, your numbers. And Rusty the Clown, I think you're fine. I think if your functionality, if you're thinking fine, if you're I think you're probably in a pretty big building that, unless it was a really enclosed space, I think you would have started to feel the effects. But if you haven't, I think you're fine. You know, if you feel like you're getting dizzy or anything, I would go to the doctors, or I would go to the urgent care, or I would, I'd go to the hospital. Okay. Folks, I want you guys to understand something. Okay. If you're on medications, I want you to, I've got some homework for you. Okay. What I do every day is I teach people how to fix and improve insulin resistance through fasting and fiber, and utilizing a tool that I've been using I've been using this for 2 years. January of 2024 is when I started. It is listed in the physician's desk reference, and if you don't know what that is, it's the PDR.net. That's where doctors prescribe. Folks, we are the only company in the world that has 2 natural products that are just as effective and often works better than the medications doctors prescribe. There is 0 side effects. There is no contraindications with this system. It works all the time. In fact, it comes with a 90-day guarantee. You can use your FSA and your HSA to purchase this. There's more than 24 clinical studies. It has been studied at the University of Sydney, the Cleveland Clinic in Ohio, which is the #1 heart hospital in the world. It has been studied by the American Heart Association, BYU, Stanford, UNLV, Columbia University, and a laundry list of other institutions. And you know what's crazy? Is hardly any one of you even knows that it exists. And Maria, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate you. Okay. Thank you so much for that. Folks, we have a system that works. Folks, I wish that somebody would have shared this with me 21 years ago. My brother, who was 33 years old in January of 2005 when he unfortunately took his own life. My dad passed away on Easter Sunday, 2017. Gus Weird, thank you for the follow. Folks, if you're struggling with your health, or if you know somebody, you want to share this with them, because this could change their life. We just did a science call tonight where we actually had a registered dietitian literally talk about the science behind fatty liver and why we get it. You know what's crazy is that before 1980, people that had fatty liver, these were people who drank alcohol. And now we've got 3-year-olds that are being diagnosed with what is called non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. We have 2-year-olds that are being diagnosed with diabetes. Folks, how many of you lost loved ones because of these health issues? I wish I knew about this before. Folks, the Feel Great system is the easiest, safest, most natural thing you will ever use. Okay? I really love it when people come on my lives like this. It's interesting. Folks, I'm living proof that you can have stage 4 kidney disease, you can have migraines, you can have sleep apnea, you can have acid reflux, anxiety, depression, you can have all of that weight, and you can improve all of that without the need for medications. When I wake up in the morning, instead of having breakfast, I sip on a simple chlorogenic tea. Okay. This chlorogenic tea has 10 times the amount of chlorogenic acid that you would get in a cup of coffee. It has 375 times the amount of chlorogenic acid that you would actually get in regular yerba mate. It is loaded with theobromine, which acts as a natural mood booster. It helps to lower your blood pressure, your cholesterol, your blood sugar levels naturally. And then before your biggest meal of the day, which for most people is dinner, you take this blend of plant-based fibers that was created by Rexall Pharmacy way back in the day. How many of you remember Rexall? Some of you might even have family members that may or may not have worked for Rexall. So when you get to your largest meal, you're going to take this fiber matrix. You mix it with 8 ounces of water, you shake it up, you chug it down. That's it. How many of you have ever heard of the Cleveland Clinic? If you've heard of the Cleveland Clinic, would you mind typing CC in the chat? CJ Bass, thank you so much for sharing this. I appreciate that. And I don't know your name. What is the name? TikTok is my name. Okay. Rexall. So Rexall started in 1903. Rexall used to be the biggest drugstore in the world. And the doctors and scientists that used to work for Rexall created a blend of fiber. And the reason why they did this is because the food industry was actually removing fiber from our foods. There's still several scattered around the East Coast in the United States. There used to be one here in Mesa, Arizona. But they wanted to put the fiber back in because our food industry was taking it out. We need fiber. Folks, I want you to understand that medications are should be the backup to the backup plan. It shouldn't be what we are just using every single day. That's all we're doing is we're throwing medications that are symptoms instead of fixing the root cause. How many of you, honestly, if you had a solution to the problem that could help fix the health issues that you have, how many of you would want to share it with the world? How many of you would like to know if something existed on the earth, right, that could actually help improve your health naturally? How many of you would love to know? How many of you don't care? And it's okay either way. There's no judgment, right? And folks, I want you guys to understand, I don't work with everyone at all. I don't work with people who just want a quick fix. I work with people who are tired of spinning their wheels, people who are tired of being on one medication after another. We have a proof of a solution. Folks, we actually have a solution to the biggest health problem in the world, and nobody knows about it. And not only do people not even know about it, most doctors don't even know about it, even though this is listed in the same physician's desk reference that they prescribe medications. Does that make sense? What I'm saying is, when your doctor is sitting down with you and you've got diabetes and your doctor wants to put you on metformin, do you guys realize that what I'm sipping on is just as effective as the metformin, but without the side effects? And yet your doctor will diagnose and treat your symptoms. See, doctors test what they can medicate. Joel, if you have an interest, send me a message. I will send you the details. Folks, the competition is statins, it's metformin, it's Ozempic, it's, some of you might even be considering bariatric surgery, right? I want you guys to understand that every single one of those things that I just mentioned has a side effect, a major, serious side effect. And Peaceful, thank you for the follow. We have a solution to the problem. I kind of laugh when I think about people who enjoy being on their medications, because I have actually never met a human being that would rather take a medication if they knew that there was something natural or safe to take. Linda J, thank you for the follow. You guys realize that there's over 1 billion people around the world on a statin drug. And this right here is the only clinically proven patented natural alternative to statin drugs, and nobody knows about it. We do. I do. I've been using this for 2 years. Folks, your own doctor can actually look up these two products in the PDR. They can see all of the studies. In fact, if you're working with your doctor and your doctor is doing blood work, by the way, your doctor can check your blood work before and after somebody's been on this for 90 days, and you will have a noticeable change in your blood work. But doctors don't want to talk to you about that. Doctors want to send you home with a prescription because that's how they make their money. Folks, I'm not interested in helping you to keep, now work with your doctor, right? Definitely work with your doctor. But if you've never been told that you can fix or reverse or improve insulin resistance, well, now you know. Knowledge is power. Folks, these two products right here are just as effective and often work better in many cases than the medications that people are on. And Linda J, I will send this to you as soon as you and I get off, okay? Okay. I would be more than happy. And you're welcome, Linda. Folks, I reversed stage 4 kidney disease. This is not a joke. I wish that somebody would have shared this with me 10 years ago. My dad would still be here. You want to know something interesting is that years ago, a cholesterol level of 300 was considered totally normal, healthy even. And then Big Pharma came out with the statin drugs, right? And suddenly that normal number dropped. Why? Because that meant that millions of more people now qualified to be on a medication. Now, I'm not saying that statins don't help. But if you go and look at each of the studies, folks, it's a very tiny, tiny, tiny percentage who actually benefit. And the rest of the people, guess what? They're dealing with side effects like muscle pain and fatigue, blood sugar issues, brain fog, because your brain actually needs cholesterol, folks. So what I did is I stopped chasing the numbers. Instead, I started focusing on reducing inflammation, started focusing on reducing blood sugar and supporting my body naturally. That's when everything changed. And this is exactly why I teach people every day the Feel Great system. Guys, it's called the Feel Great system because it makes you feel great. I am living proof that you can improve and reverse insulin resistance. Stage 4 kidney disease. Are you kidding me? 32 pounds. Folks, by the way, when I was diagnosed with stage 4 kidney disease, where is this? My doctor actually gave me this. It's called Ozempic. It did not work. It made me sick. I had to stop taking it because it was making me sick. Folks, I have a colleague of mine who had high blood pressure. I'm 47 years old. He had high blood pressure for 47 years. He was on medication. And within a few months of sipping a tea and taking a fiber before his largest meal, within 3 months, he was off of the medications, his blood pressure medications that he was on for 47 freaking years. He's reversed type 2 diabetes. Madeline, I want to show you this. This is a buddy of mine who had his thyroid removed 11 years ago. This is my buddy Jimmy. He has no thyroid. He reversed non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. He reversed type 2 diabetes. His blood pressure's down. His sleep apnea, depression, acid reflux, erectile dysfunction, gone. He's lost 88 pounds. There's no side effects to what it is that I'm teaching. I want to share this with you. This is a customer of mine in the UK. Look at this. He's down 37 kilograms, which is 81 and a half pounds. He's reversed type 2 diabetes. He's been on the system now for 7 months. He said, this saved my life. His IBS is gone, gout is gone, vertigo is gone, depression's lifted. He was prescribed metformin, but he decided to do this system instead. His A1C went from 11.3 to 5.8. Folks, I really don't care how long you've been struggling with your issues. And here's the part that I absolutely love the most, besides the fact that your doctor can look this up, is that every single one of you that is serious about moving the needle, for those of you that are serious about improving your health, the manufacturer gives everyone who is willing to try it 90 days to use it. And if it doesn't work for you, and if you don't like it, you literally get your money back. You lose nothing. That is the last thing that your doctor wants to hear, is that you're no longer wanting to be on your meds, right? Your doctor has no choice but to be, right? Most doctors, all they're doing is diagnosing, treating the symptoms. They're not helping you to understand why your A1C is so high, why your cholesterol is through the roof, right? All they do is, oh, your cholesterol is high, here's a statin. Delta, thank you for the follow. Camel, thank you for, or Camel, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but thank you for sharing this. Folks, I've only got a couple more minutes. I got on later than I normally do, but I'm waking up early. But I want you guys to understand, I get on these lives every single day. If you want to jump on a phone call, I'm happy to do that. We do a science call every Tuesday where we've got doctors and nurses, endocrinologists, chiropractors, registered dietitians, nurses, surgeons that will come on and they'll educate us. Like tonight, we had a registered dietitian talk to us about fatty liver and why it's affecting so many people. Folks, what's crazy is that medical research shows that 90% of all the chronic issues that you and I have today, you guys realize that it could all be eliminated if we just fixed the root cause, which is insulin resistance. Most of the time, all we're doing is managing the symptoms. How's that working out for you guys? Cheryl, thank you for the follow. Folks, we have a proof of a solution. You could try it for 90 days, and if you don't like it, you can go back to where you were before you started it. You literally lose nothing. But what if this could give you your life back? What if this could help you to start improving your health in ways that doctors can't have an explanation for you? That's the thing that happens. When I was on this for 5 months, when I went back to my doctor, my nephrologist, he said, I don't know what you're doing, but keep doing it. Madeline, I'm telling you, I want you guys to know there's a lot of people that are watching this live right now that are using this system that would tell you face to face, eye contact to eye contact, that this is a system that saved their life. When everything else that doctors are throwing at us aren't working, medications will never fix the root cause. I want you guys to understand that. If you don't understand anything, understand medications will never fix the root cause. They will never fix the root cause. That's not what they're intended to be. They're intended to be a temporary solution, right? It's offering relief temporarily. But when you fix the root cause, it's like having a fire, folks. When you put that fire out, the smoke goes away. Think of insulin resistance like a fire that's burning out of control. And all of the symptoms that you and I have, diabetes, neuropathy, erectile dysfunction, PCOS, kidneys, migraines, neuropathy, right? High blood pressure, all of that, that is the smoke to the fire. So when you put the fire out, the smoke goes away. When you fix the root cause, the issues go away. If you want a natural alternative to what you're doing, or if you want something that will work with your biology and not against it, folks, this system, there's no side effects. You could be on 100 medications and it'll still work. And Marie, France, Hannah, thank you so much. Sounds to me like you're in Canada, right? I have a lot of customers and I have partners. I've never even met them because the system works so well, folks. Folks, I'm telling you, watch the pinned videos in my bio. Go and look at the information on my TikTok page. It'll change your life. I love it. Randy Holbrook. I'm related to some Holbrooks. Folks, I want you guys to understand I am living proof that you can improve insulin resistance. Okay? And if it resonates with you, if this sounds like what you are looking for, and if you see yourself using this system, if you can wake up in the morning and you can mix this with about 20 to 30 ounces of ice cold water and sip on an amazing tea that will literally shut the food noise off, it'll improve your energy, the brain fog goes away, clears the cobwebs, right? You literally start to feel good. If you can wake up and sip on this all day, that's all it takes. If you get to lunchtime and you're hungry, have lunch. And then right after lunch, you're going to make your second one of these. And then before your biggest meal of the day, whether that's lunch or dinner, you're going to mix this with about 6 to 8 ounces of ice cold water. You're going to shake it up and you're going to chug it down right before you eat your biggest meal. Folks, that is exactly how you use the system. That's it. No, journaler. They have a natural lemon. They do have a decaf lemon. They have a raspberry pomegranate when they get that back in stock. But folks, I sip on the natural lemon every single. I sip on it from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed. I have one of these before every meal. So if I have 2 meals a day, I'm going to have 2 of these. If I have one, I'm going to have one. Folks, it is easier than any diet you'll ever be on. It's $159 a month, folks. It's $5 a day. When you're skipping a meal, you are literally saving that money that you would have spent on that meal, and you're investing it back into your health. You're avoiding snacks. Folks, I'm confident that if you go and look at from day one, January 1st to the end of this month, and you look at what you spend on snacks and food, it's far more than $5 a day. And I'm not telling you to use this forever. I'm encouraging you to try it for 90 days, because if you're on medications and you want to improve your health in a way without this, that your doctor can literally look this up and be like, oh my gosh, here's what the Cleveland Clinic, if you don't know the Cleveland Clinic is the #1 heart hospital in the world. Folks, their concluding statement was this. They said that if people were to use this on a regular basis, that it would decrease cardiovascular disease on a population basis, and that it would decrease the need for lipid-lowering prescription meds. Folks, decrease prescription meds. Are you kidding me? That's coming from the #1 heart hospital in the world. You guys realize that heart disease and cancer are the 2 leading causes of death worldwide. And it's all caused by insulin resistance. So don't you think if you fix insulin resistance, you are fixing the root cause? What happens to that? Right? When you fix the root, you're putting the fire out. The smoke fades away. The symptoms will fade away. Folks, this is exactly how this works. And this is why nobody wants you to know about this. Folks, do they make money when you eat or when you don't? Do they make money when you're injecting yourself with a weight loss med or you're on a pill? Or do you think, right? Are they making money when you use that or when you don't? Like I said before, okay? I don't work with people who just want a quick fix, okay? I don't. I work with people that are literally serious about improving their metabolic health. People that are wanting to get off. Like, what would change in your life if your energy came back? Seriously. What would change? I have literally watched people stop snacking without trying. I've seen people improve their sleep without trying. Celeste, thank you for the follow. I've seen energy return. I've seen people's numbers move in the right direction. I've seen more people in the last 2 years reverse type 2 diabetes. I do not work with everyone, right? I do not help people who want to stay in the same habits. I help people who are ready to understand their body and actually work with it, right? And if you want details later, look at my TikTok page, watch my pinned videos, right? Send me a message, a private message that says ready. I'll send you the details. Or better yet, folks, I've got about a minute and I'm going to hop off. Or you can send me a message here. I'm happy to send you what you need. There's two things that you can do that are simple and easy. The first one is fasting. Fasting is the quickest way to get your insulin under control. Fasting, all we're doing is telling you, maybe if you can, skip one meal, right? I usually eat 1 to 2 meals a day. That's it. When you fast for 24 hours, you reset your gut. When you fast for 72 hours, you reset your immune system. Folks, if you're looking for something that can improve your health without the need for meds, diets, crazy exercises, you just found it. We are the only company in the world that has the tea and this fiber that are literally listed in the same PDR that doctors prescribe drugs from. And nobody knows about it. And yet it's been around for over 30 years. So, I'm serious, right? This is why I share this. You don't have to wait to fix your health, right? Most of the people I just did a health and wellness thing last week. And it was, there was a lady who was 100 years old. But this is what I love. Okay, let me show you some of these pictures of some of the people that I was fortunate. I had this. Where are these pictures? Oh, wrong phone. I will update the pictures and I'll send them so that I have them. Okay. But it was so fun to connect with people that were sick and tired of being on meds. How many of you are on a statin drug? This is the only clinically proven natural patented natural alternative to statin drugs. There's no side effects. There's no drugs. There's no chemicals. It's made from plants and food. This is a natural metformin. This actually helps to increase your body's own production of GLP-1. It works amazing, folks. And I'm telling you, you don't have to wait to fix your health. I love talking about this. If you're looking for something, folks, you just found it. This literally changed my life. And for those of you that are wondering how to get this is exactly why I built Health Coach Troy. How do you drink it? Show us. So I'm almost finished with this, but essentially what you do is you fill this up with water and ice. I tear the lid off, I pour it in here, and I shake it up, and all I do is I sip on it. Okay? And then the fiber, what I do is I would take about half amount of this water, right? And I'd pour it in here, I'd shake it up, and I would just chug it down right before my biggest meal. That is how easy that is, folks. It's that simple. It's the easiest thing you'll ever do. And yet, it is the biggest game changer in the world. Folks, I love teaching people about insulin resistance because I didn't know what it was. I wish that I have the knowledge that I have now. I wish I could go back 20 years ago. My brother would still be here. My dad would still be here. My mom wouldn't be in a memory care facility dealing with Alzheimer's and dementia. And far too often, all we're doing is throwing medications that are symptoms. You'll never fix the root cause doing it that way. But you can do it through diet, right? Even going for a simple walk after you eat your biggest meal can actually reduce your glucose spike by 43%. This was studied at the University of Sydney and the Cleveland Clinic. And what's interesting is the University of Sydney, they're the blood sugar experts of the world. Okay? And Victoria Costa, no, you don't have to wait 30 minutes. Okay? You can mix this and eat your meal right after. Okay? You don't have to wait 30. Folks, you don't have to wait 30 minutes before you eat. I don't know where you heard that, Victoria. You don't have to wait 30. I mean, you can, you don't have to. Folks, you can get fiber in forms of broccoli and beans and flax and chia seeds, artichokes, avocados, right? This was a blend of plant-based fibers that was created by Rexall. They created it because they wanted to eradicate heart disease naturally. And they created this because the food industry started taking and stripping out fiber out of our food. See, without fiber, folks, you eat all the time. You're hungry all the time. You're tired all the time. You're craving sugar and sweets all the time. But when we have fiber, it fills us up. Think about this. Every carbohydrate that's found in nature is surrounded by fiber. You've got rice, wheat, sugarcane, right? Apples, it all comes wrapped in fiber. But when you strip the fiber, you're left with white flour. You're left with, or apple juice, right? Sugarcane, right? I mean, this is why I teach this, because when you fast and you get more fiber, right? When you're giving your body the ability to take a break, okay, it looks like I got restricted, so I think it's time for me to end this live, okay? Okay, folks, for those of you that are looking, like, if you want this information, send me a message, okay? And for those of you, it is, I'm here in Arizona, right? Okay, feel free to send me a text. I will send you the details. If you want the link to order this, I'm happy to send it to you. Okay. Okay. Feel free to send me a message. I'm happy to help you. Okay. Jen, yes. When you use the link that I have, you're getting $75 off. Okay. And for as long as you want to use that discount remains. You'll pay the same amount that I pay. Right. Folks, when you get this, you'll get 90 days. You don't have to use it for 90 days, right? But usually you'll find within 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, it takes your body some time to adjust. But the manufacturer gives everyone who's willing to try it 90 days, no questions asked, 100% money back guarantee. If it doesn't work, just get your money back. That's it. It's that simple. And folks, if it doesn't work, you'll go back to where you were before you started it. But I'm telling you, this is an absolute game changer. And if you use it consistently, it will not fill you. I reverse stage 4 kidney disease. Migraines of 23 years gone. Acid reflux, brain fog, sleep apnea, anxiety, depression, gone. 32 pounds, gone. Okay. If it resonates with you and if you'd like to get started, folks, don't wait. If you're on the fence, the 90-day money-back guarantee should get you off the fence. Okay. $5 a day is not a big deal, folks. It really isn't. If you analyze what we spend every day on food and snacks and drinks and coffee, we spend a lot of money. Okay. But if there's anything that I can do to help you, please let me know. Folks, God bless you. I hope that you guys have an amazing rest of your night. I'll be on tomorrow morning, 6:30 Mountain Standard Time. God bless.